Hello, this is Unity Web TV. We have today a visitor called Justus Paiewonsky. He has been working as Therapeut here at the center for some years and been all over the world working with himself. He's given channeling, and here he has been working with NLP. I don't know what to call it in English. Can you say what?
NLP.
NLP, okay, it's English. I'm very good. Justus has been doing lots of things in his life, and now he has taken a big step to do satsang at Unity Center. And I want him to tell me a little bit, what is satsang? It's lots of people doing it, but I don't really get what it is. Can you tell me, Justus, what is satsang for you?
Hi. Well, I can start with the word satsang comes from the Sanskrit, which means together in the highest truth. And I guess that means for me that once you've gotten to a place where you've started to truly understand and grasp what truth is, it becomes almost a driving force to share this with others. Not because I'm here to convince anybody about this thing or that thing. There's no agenda in terms of politics or a specific religion or any particular path that is the right one to take. When you sit together in truth, in a sense what you're doing is you're sitting in that which everybody already is sitting. We people, as we grow up, we're given all kinds of feedback and instructions from our parents, our friends, our schools, our institutions. And along the way, we're told this is a good thing and this is a bad thing. This is going to help you and this is going to stop you. This is the right thing to think about this and this is the wrong thing to think about that. And along the way, we build up what so many people have called the ego, which is a collection of all of these yeses and nos, musts and mustn'ts. In essence, though, the truth is still there behind everything. And the truth is very, very simple. It is that awareness is aware. Now, what does that mean? It means that the one thing that we can be sure of as sentient beings, as aware beings, is that there is something that's aware. There's something that is noticing that something is going on. Now, what is that something? Well, in Taoism, they talk about how the spoken Tao is not the Tao. And what that means is, as soon as you start talking about it, as soon as you start trying to put words to it, you're a little bit off. Because the words for each individual person is going to have a slightly different meaning. And as soon as you try to talk and as soon as you try to share these things with words, there is the risk that pictures and feelings and re-representations inside each individual is going to create some sort of fantasy about what those words mean. So to be together in satsang is really not about explaining what the truth is. It's about allowing each individual who comes up, who shows up in the togetherness of the truth, to start to experience what it means to be true, what it means to be aware. And in a sense, it's sort of like peeling away the layers of an onion. You start taking away that which is not true, that which is not reality. And what I mean by that is that there's a certain path that you can take to get to this state of awareness, being aware of itself. And that is to start asking, who am I? Who am I really? Am I my body? So if I say to you, point to yourself, a lot of people will say, well, I'm here, or this is me. But you're not your body, because that's something that's transient. It's not pure truth. It's in constant change. I mean, the cells in your eyes are shifted out every 2 days. Just about every cell in your body is shifted out over a 7-year period. So that means that your body today is not the same body in almost any way that it was even 10 or 15 years ago. So your body is not who you are, because that's in constant change. Now some people might say, well, change is who you are. But that becomes sort of a nonsense thing that helps the mind to try to classify what's this or what's that, to have a category for each thing. So to sit together in satsang is to, through self-inquiry, to go into the self. And my role is sort of like that of a midwife. I ask some questions, I share some small understandings, I put up a couple of signs along the way pointing in the direction, but I can't take you there. I can't be the one that walks you through the door that you don't know is there. You yourself have to open the door and realize that the door was already there, even though you didn't know it was. And what that means is that what I can do is, by staying in the truth, by staying completely in the moment, and without having any attachment to any particular idea or feeling or theory about what is, just help you to ask the questions that you need to ask in order to come closer and closer to the reality and the truth of what you are.
Do you use NLP in this? Is this NLP to help for you when you're doing satsang? Well, you ask all these questions a little bit, you can build on the things you have been learning from before.
Well, I would have to say that each individual person who starts to grasp the truth of what is, in other words, as we each one of us become aware of the fact that awareness is aware, uses whatever it is that they happen to have manifested or generated for themselves in this life. So if somebody grows up in the slum of Bombay, or somebody takes a university degree in physics, or if somebody approaches this through the study of NLP, hypnosis, channeling, whatever it is, each of those paths is a genuine path. In essence, the state of awareness, being aware, is the true state of everything. It's just that a whole bunch of us have bought into the illusion of what mind creates. And what I mean by mind creating is that everything that you experience through your senses, whether it's through touch or smell or taste or seeing or hearing, is an interpretation. And so when you see a picture, or you see a car, or you see a tree, you're already going through a process of making a category of things, relating it to past experiences, and storing it in the particular way that you do that. Now, NLP is a particularly good tool for understanding how each individual explains the world to themselves, explains the projections they make onto the world that helps them to, in a sense, keep control over what the world really is to them. And so I'd say yes, in some ways NLP has been useful for me, because it's helped me to understand that the true nature of reality is something that no one individual interpretation can nail as 100% truth, because each interpretation is put together with all of the different experiences, the fears, the programming, the language patterns, the experiences that each individual has, that they then process through themselves and project back out onto the world. That said, NLP is not by any means the way or the only way or a preferred way to get to truth. It's just one that's helped me to understand that what we perceive and what's out there are two different things. Like NLPers like to say, the menu is not the meal, the map is not the territory.
So the main goal is everybody to see the same things, and what do you call it? To experience things in the same way. This just like enlightenment. If everybody is enlightened, they see things the same way. Do you think so?
Well, I wouldn't say that. You see, as soon as you start saying everybody and seeing things the same way, that implies that there is one way to see things, that there is a right way, and that if every single person on the planet except one saw it one way and the other person saw it a different way, that would somehow be wrong or unenlightened. But the fact of the matter is that is a concept of what we call duality, where there's a right, there is a wrong, where there is an up, there is a down, where there is bliss, there is pain. And as soon as you're into this world of things, of impressions, of thoughts, of interpretations, that is not enlightenment. That is mind. That is part of the process we call ego. And this is an interesting thing. A lot of people are talking about the ego and how important it is to get rid of the ego. Well, my understanding of it is that there is no ego, that there is no one place that you can point to and say, there's the ego. Because the ego, we use that as a word to describe a thing. There is this thing called ego. There is this identity called ego. But the fact of the matter is that ego is really more of a process. It's a combination of all of these thoughts and restrictions and desire to control how we experience the unfolding of every moment. See, people have a need to feel safe. And so to feel safe, we try to sort things out and try to understand what's going on. And in that trying to feel safe and trying to understand, we impose restrictions on what we're experiencing. We say, well, this is a good thing or this is a bad thing. And so in that process, what's called the ego is put together with all this combination of all these different interpretations of what's good and bad. So I wouldn't say, no, I really wouldn't say that we all need to experience the same thing or to understand the same thing. It's more that in this process of awakening, one realizes that it's not Justus who awakens. It's not Einar who awakens. It's awakening that becomes aware of awakening. And that it means really that the bottom line is that if one individual understands awakening, then he or she will see that everything already is awake. That is the natural state of truth. The absolute is that awareness is aware of being aware. Everything else is interpretation. Everything else is the flavor of the week, the flavor of the month, the flavor of this neighborhood, the flavor of that neighborhood. We don't all need to like vanilla or strawberry or chocolate. We don't even have to like ice cream. What we need to do is just let go of doing anything in order to understand. We just need to slip into being what we already are.
Justus, this is very interesting, and time is running out. This YouTube video is 15 minutes only, and I would like to take one more 15 minutes. Are we up to that?
Sure.
And then I want to talk more about the ego.
Okay.
So in part 2 we talk about ego, enlightenment. What's the difference?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.